I'm here with Martinez, who returns to action next weekend, October 15th, against Brandon Daivs. Mana, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling very, very, very blessed. Alex.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. You're 8 days out. How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing, feeling very blessed as I just mentioned. Can't wait to step back in there. I feel like a new mana has really arrived and it's gonna show next Saturday.
Well, I can't wait to see it, man. But before we talk about your fight, I wanted to go back to your fight with Ronnie Lawrence at UFC 271, man. What was the biggest thing that you learned from that fight?
It's not underestimating my opponent. I've said this in previous interviews. I kind of expected something else and got something else. You know what I mean? I was very prepared for a wrestling heavy match, which it did turn into. But he did a very good job of mixing his stand up in, and sure enough, hit me with a couple 1-2s, and I'm out. I'm noticing I'm on my ass. Trying to work from the bottom that way. But that and I've said it again. I just have to implement my game plan from the beginning, Bill. If you notice that last fight, once I did that in the third round, the tides changed, man. I landed a beautiful spin back fist, boom, this flurry of a combo, dropped them. So that's when I began to shine and showcase what I'm capable of. But by then it was a little bit too late, and lesson learned from that. So from this beginning, Bell, this next fight, it's gonna be me coming and me doing what I want to do and implementing my game plan.
Awesome. That third round, you heard him, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is going to be fantastic." Were you so obviously you were tired, but like, were you aware that like you had to finish this guy to win the fight?
Yes, and if you go back and watch it in the corners cam, you hear James Krause, my new head coach. He said, "What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? You lose a fight? Like go out there and go for broke." In which I did. I stuffed one of his shots towards the beginning of that round, and then boom, yeah, I seen he was leaning some certain way, and I was like, just throw a spin back fist, and boom, landed. So I knew I had to go for broke, and props to Ronnie for staying up, and I dropped him twice, man. As wishfully thinking that the ref maybe would have stopped it. He was still up, and he obviously was able to take me down and hold me down. But it's all right. You live and learn, man.
Awesome, awesome. Did you want to return sooner?
No, no, right, right. I feel like this is the perfect timing right now. I knew I had a big move coming up, moving to Glory full time Missouri. So being away from my home, I didn't want to just jump into another camp, a 6 to 8 week camp. This camp has been very long and extended since I moved there full time in June, as I just said. So it's been well over 8 weeks. I've adjusted to the lifestyle. I've created a bunch of new habits and kind of reshaped my identity. Alex, I was I don't want to say a different man back in Houston, but I was definitely kind of missing that full time martial artist piece of me, I guess you could say. And now that I'm out here in Missouri full time, that's definitely changed. And again, I'm excited to showcase what I've been working on.
Awesome. Yeah, well, you kind of already talked about it, and like you already, I don't know, answered a little bit of it. But so you moved to Glory MMA full time. What really prompted that move? Because I know that, I mean, that's a big, life changing move for you.
Nothing in particular, just or actually I should say wanting what's best for myself. You know, this is I'm at the highest level, it's the UFC, of course, fighting the best fighters in the world. And if I want to continue to be successful, I have to worry about myself and do what's best for me.
Mhm.
And staying back home wasn't really helping me. So I know if I went to a place that secluded me from my friends, my family, made me really have to sacrifice, which it isn't even sacrifice because I really enjoy being out here 24/7 and training and my new teammates. And like I mentioned, living a true martial artist. Of course, I guess in a sense it is sacrificing time and for my family and friends, but it'll all be worth it in the long run. The more I continue to step in that octagon, and the more I continue to get my hand raised. So, I mean, the biggest push for me was wanting what's best for not only my life but my family.
Did you move out there? Like, are you living out there, or are you just going out there to do training camp?
No, so my first camp last year was December throughout the new year, and then I ended up fighting in March, and it was about a 6 to 8 week camp. But this time, permanently out there, permanently out here. So, like I mentioned, I've been here since June, and it's been a little bit of a prolonged camp, I guess you could say. I've been training every day, getting used to my teammates and soaking up all the knowledge that I can. And it's been an amazing move for my career, man, and it's gonna show. I can promise you and speak it into existence come October 15th.
What's it like living in Missouri rather than living in Texas? What's
You want to talk about a culture shock, man? It is crazy, man. I've been telling everybody. They're like, "Where do you stay?" So I stay in this part called Grandview, and I actually looked up the population the other day. 25,000, dude. 25,000 compared to hundreds of thousands, millions in Houston. So you can only imagine how, much of an outsider I feel like, but it's like, oh, I really got to adjust to maybe seeing similar faces around all the time in a small town vibe. But it's amazing, man. I'm very grateful for James Krause opening up his doors to me and allowing me to be part of the team and welcome me with open arms.
awesome, man? Awesome. That's awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing that. Well, let's talk about it. Brandon Daivs, man. What are your thoughts on him as an opponent?
He's a gritty fighter, he's a vet. He's been around the who's, fought some named guys, some opponents that, came in with a lot of hype, Randy Costa, for example. And he's gritty. That's as best as I can say it, probably one word to describe him. Um I don't know. It's going to be an exciting fight. Everybody keeps implementing that it has fight of the night written all over it, and I could definitely see it because we're both two dogs, and one doesn't want to fall before the other, obviously. But I can also see me finishing him very early. But yeah, he's a very gritty fighter, and I'm happy he accepted the fight. So let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, it's a ridiculous fight. We all know how you fight. We all know how he fights. I guess like in your preparation, like, does it ever come into like, do you ever think about him like in a sense where like he's coming in with his back against the wall, like he left the promotion, fought his way back, but then lost his first fight back. So now he's coming, maybe, job on the line, even more hungry. Like, does that ever come into your mindset during camp?
It used to cross my mind, to be honest, and that's one of the things I changed mentally about my whole mindset and outlook on this fight game. I have to worry about myself, man. And just as much as his back may be against the wall, my back is up against the wall as well. I just lost a fight in my hometown. It was a really important one. Of course, Ronnie was very game, but I want to go out there and show what I'm capable of, because leading into me getting signed, I was cleaning everybody out in the regional scene, from guys like Ricky Tercios to Jose Johnson, getting them out of there in the first round or two, and knocking them out cold. So there's a lot of hype behind me. And, I want to prove to myself and to everyone that I'm definitely capable of doing that at a worldwide level in the UFC. So as much as he may have his back against the wall, I have that same problem, I feel like, but I'm gonna worry about myself. He can do everything in his preparations. I'm doing everything in my preparations, but at the end of the day, I tunnel vision for myself, and may the best man win. You know, whoever trains hardest and whoever's night it is. So definitely has crossed my mind, and it used to that way. Like, man, maybe he is owed this fight. This is his second run in the UFC, but hey, I just lost a fight in my hometown in front of my family, my friends, so I deserve to win just as much as you do, bud.
Mm. I really like that explanation for you, man. Yeah, and then so you kind of mentioned it, like every the hardcore fans know Mana Martinez knocks you dead cold. We haven't seen that just yet in the UFC. Are you planning on doing that October 15th?
You know it. You know it, Alex. You know it. That's what I'm coming for. And like we talked about earlier, it has fight of the night implications written all over it. But I want to go in there, and I am gonna go in there and show everybody this kid still has that pop in his hands. He's something dangerous and someone to look out for in this bantamweight division. And it's gonna show. This is gonna be my breakout performance. It's no disrespect to Brandon Daivs. I've been telling my close friends and my family, it doesn't matter who's across from me in the octagon October 15th. I'm going to go out there and prevail. I'm going to go out there and show everybody who Mana is.
Mm.
And I'm excited, man. It sucks it has to be Brandon Daivs, but it's my time, man. I can't wait, Alex.
I love it. I love it. Just a couple of last things for me, man.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to Glory real quick. Do you feel like part of the family yet?
Bro, I feel like a brother over there, man. It's from the first practice to the last practice we had. You know, it's like a brotherhood, a very healthy level of competition. Um, I came back in town. I didn't tell them for my mom's birthday, like mid-July, and I was gone for a few days. And man, they were texting me, worrying me, like, "Hey, you all right, Mana? Like, this, that." And I was like, I just came back to Houston for my mom's birthday. I'll be back next week. So that just goes to show, they're worried about me. They're wanting to see what's best for me. Man, those guys are amazing over there, and small little things, like, of course, obviously my wrestling needs work, but it's been improved tremendously. And in practice, I'll get taken down and pop right back up, and the guys will be like, "Hey, there you go, Mana, good job." Like they'll really just want what's best for me, man, and I love it there for sure, man.
Awesome, awesome. And then looking forward to next year, man. What do you want your year to look like? Obviously not looking past Brandon Davis in any facet, but like, do you want to be more active next year, or is it kind of just taking it day by day?
It's not even next year, Alex. I'm thinking about next month. I'm thinking about
Ooh,
December.
okay.
I've got this whole reinvented mindset. I'm really serious about it. And before, I would always, oh, that fight is close to this holiday. I'll back off. Oh, that fight is close to this person's birthday. I don't want to do it. But now it's all gas, man. It's all gas, no brakes. And I'm not looking past Brandon Davis one bit. But if I do come out, God willingly, injury free, I'll be ready for something next month, the following month, something to close out the year, late notice, anything. I want to be that guy, and that's going to be the same goal for next year. It's just going to constantly be ready to go, and seeing guys like Hamzat and all these guys just step up on short notice and go out there and just killing it. I want to be one of those guys, man, and I want to be a force to be reckoned with. And my time's coming, man. So everybody's just gonna have to stay patient and see, and they're gonna want to see more and more of Mana.
Awesome, awesome. And then fighting at the Apex. I know that your last fight was in front of your hometown, a big sold out crowd going back to the Apex. Jeff Molina says it's like blue balls. Like why are you doing this to us? It's like, God damn it. Are you bummed that you're back at the Apex, or are you kind of that fighter where like you'll fight wherever?
Exactly. I'll fight wherever mindset, fight wherever, whoever, whenever. But at first, I must admit I did not like it, especially with my contender series fight and opportunity. Oh man, bro, you could hear a pin drop in there. Oh, it was so ugly. I didn't like no walkout music on top of that, bro. Kind of felt like not that we were in prison, but it's like, yo, come on, bro. So and then when I had my debut fight against Guido, I kind of took time to smell the roses, or however that quote goes, smell the flowers, and I really soaked it all in, and I'm glad it was 15 minutes. So I got to fully enjoy that whole experience, even though he was kicking the shit out of me. And that guy's like, man, quick shout out to Guido real quick. I don't care what anybody says, his age, this, that. As you can tell from his last 2 fights, he's still putting dudes away. And for me to go out there, my debut fight against him, and do what I did, and pull out a victory in the circumstances that I was under was really no pushover. So I don't want to hear any more talk about, oh, you couldn't beat that old guy. That old guy is tough, bro. Go back and watch his last 2 fights, even some of those fights before. He's got that dog in him, man.
Yeah.
But sorry, steered away from the main question, but I don't mind fighting the Apex one bit. I'll have my dad in my corner and my mom in the crowd, and they've been with me since the beginning, and I couldn't be more blessed and thankful for them. So for them two to be in the building is really all who I need. Of course, James Krause, the general, he'll be out there making the calls, the shots. So I've got everybody I need in the Apex, and I'll feel right at home and ready to go.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear. Finally, one last thing for me. A week after your fight, Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira, I just want your thoughts on that fight, and then who are you picking?
I got asked this the other day at the gym. I can't go against Charlie no more, man. I've done it time and time again, and he always proves me wrong. And for somebody like Gaethje, who's as tough as nails, to come out and say that it felt like he put his tongue on a taser or something like that when Charles hit him, that goes to show Charles got some pop, man. So if he can catch Islam, he might be able to finish him, man, and shock the world. But MMA math, or just looking from the outside in, Islam should have his way with him. I think the odds are I don't know if the odds have changed or what, but I'm going Charlie at the end of the day, man. Let's go. The champ has a name, and he deserves to get that belt back, especially how they did him with the whole scale scandal and all that, man. Let's go, Charlie.
Awesome. Thank you for that, man. Mana, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors you might have, and if you want to thank anybody, the floor is yours.
I just have to thank everyone who still supports me to this day, and has supported me since day one. It truly means a lot. Yeah, thank you is pretty much all I can say. And you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Monoboy7, and shout out my guy Alex for the interview, man. We talked a little bit before we aired. This guy's the truth on Twitter, man. So everybody go give him a follow as well.
Thank you, dude.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKickMMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.